It's a pleasure to introduce Mr. M. Sanjeev Khandekar from Maharashtra. Sanjeev Khandekar is a poet, writer, editor, socio-political activist, commentator on varied issues, and visual artist. His 6 books of poetry include Kavita, a collection of his early poetry, and Search Engine. These collections have been followed by 3 volumes of poetry, All That I Wanna Do, Mutatis Mutandi, 2 poems in 2006, Smiles in 2007. His first book of visual poetry, 1, 2, 3, Happy Galaxy in 2007, and his latest book of essays, Rutusamhar, is published by Lokwang Maya Prakashan in 2019. In 1982, he edited Sankalp, a collection of essays by social activists in Maharashtra. His second book, the novel Ashanta Parva, concerns itself with the construction of a politically sensitive self in post-industrial India. He also exhibited solo and in groups in India and abroad. I request Sanjeev Khandekar to present his work to the audience.
Dear friends, I am going to read part of one of my poems. Fortunately or unfortunately, most of my poems are very long poems, and generally reader gets bored. So organizers tell me to read only a small part of it. This is a long poem again. Most of my books you'll find it 1 poem, 1 book. So that's how it goes. This one is written in 2004. And the title of this poem is Mutatis Mutandis. Of course, before going into it, after this poem, to just give you kind of a flavor, not the test, but the flavor of my language, I will also read one small stanza or small part of another poem in Marathi itself. So it will give you a little bit idea about how does Marathi sounds, flavor in new poetry. So I'll read now part of this. I think I've been told to read 3 sections of this long poetry. This is titled as Mutatis Mutandis. Mutatis Mutandis means change. And Karl Marx used this term to explain the necessary change. I'll read now. The doctor should have realized it before my wife did. At least the nurse should have. I met the nurse. Sister, is it serious? I asked. She said, ask the doctor, don't hold me responsible. Of course, I don't hold you responsible, I said. All I want to ask is, did you notice anything? The nurse replied, the doctor seems to be really hassle. So many patients, so many emergencies. Number 14 is still in labor, you see. Even now, I asked. Mind your own business, she said, and stormed away. If you need Gita, the Quran, the Bible, etc., you'll get it at the help desk, she offered on her way out. God bless you, she murmured under her breath. Doctor, I shouted out. The doctor looked up and nodded. So you have noticed it? I asked. He nodded again and said, it is quite normal, don't worry. Normal? I asked with disbelief. Normal as in it seems sometimes happens this way, he replied. In a jar on his table was a fetus floating in a murky liquid. 2 fetuses, probably with bellies stuck each to each. Doctor saw me staring at the jar. This is a mutant, he informed. And what is mutant? I asked. Monsters in the jar, answered the doctor. I looked away. Like flies that buzz and sit on the same spot, my eyes hovered around the jar. 2. What I meant to say was, began the doctor, and what did you mean to say? I asked. This happens sometimes because of the delivery stress, and to make it worse, your wife is the emotional type. I don't understand, I replied. So don't worry, she will be fine by tomorrow. She has had normal delivery. Yes, there were some painful cramps, but your baby is healthy and normal, he added. I heaved a sigh and gulped dryly. Exactly, I did not feel that there is anything abnormal, I said. The doctor said, go home now. And yes, this is the bill. Sleep well. You are in the safe hands. God bless you. I flashed out a wad of notes from my wallet. The doctor handed me a receipt. I entered the ward again, passing several pregnant women. I reached my wife's room. Can this child be ours? My wife asked me yet again. Whose else it can be? I asked. I have never had sex with anyone else, she insisted. Yes, of course, I reassured her. Then how come? Asked my wife. I said, everything is fine, everything is normal. She burst out, what is normal? And said, look, he has green hair. Do you have green hair? I replied, no, but God bless him. She said, do I have green hair? I said, no, but they may well turn green someday. She said, look, he has stripes all over his body like a tiger. Do you have stripes on your body? I said, no, but I can paint them. She said, I'm serious. Do I have stripes on my body then? I said, no, none that I have seen. Then how does he have them? I replied, shut your eyes. Don't take too much stress. Go to sleep. You know, we sometimes become victims of our own hallucinations. Let's deal with this tomorrow, shall we? She shut her eyes. I began patting her back. The baby began sucking at her breast. It looked lovely. God bless you, I said. Catch some sleep, I said. 3, and this last segment. Of course, these are got 14 segments, so I'm just going to read the last one third. On the 3rd day, my wife said, it growls off and on. Whose belly growls? I asked. Nobody's belly growls. Our child growls, she said. Don't be silly, I said reassuringly. My wife said, call the doctor right now. The doctor came. Please examine him, she said. The doctor placed his hand on my wife's breast. Are you lactating? Good, very good. Don't worry, he said. The doctor looked at me and said, please leave. What are you doing in the maternity ward anyway? He asked. My wife said, not me, doctor, examine the baby. The doctor drew a blank. Look at this green hair and stripes on his body, she sighed. We will say we found him in a jungle. I tried to be funny. Yes, yes, the jungle boy, said a male intern softly. We could call him Mowgli, suggested a female intern. Good, God is great, all will be well, said the nurse. God bless you, said the doctor, and pressed his stethoscope against the baby's chest. My wife shut her eyes, her tense eyebrows arched. He will fall asleep soon, insisted the nurse. Everybody started filing out. I came out too. The interns clamored around the doctor, who tried valiantly to explain. He suggested we should get a proper checkup done. I said, but that's exactly what you did now. The doctor said, what did I do? He looked at me and said, we should check you up. Sister, prepare him, he ordered. Let's eliminate the need for artificial insemination. The interns crowded around me. The nurse said, take your clothes off and stand there. I took my clothes off. The interns began closing in. The nurse drained the bottle in a glass and said, drink. I drank it. She kept 4 multicolored, 2 white, and 6 black pills on my palm and said, swallow them. I swallowed them. The interns promised to be back after the round soon. I said, take your time. The nurse said, continue standing, and told the ward boy to keep an eye on him. I stood naked with the ward boy standing guard. What's your problem? He asked, and continued standing guard, staring at my nakedness. It will take some time. Ejaculate in this test tube, the nurse interjected. The ward boy sniffed, said it, I was normal. I stood clutching my penis in the test tube and waited. Within minutes, the doctor came in with his interns. Yes, he said, and gave the test tube a gratified look. He said, no problems. He is all yours now. Examine him. The interns began their job. Open your mouth, show your tongue, inhale, exhale, pump up your stomach, draw in your chest, move your eyes, move them all around. I moved them. Move your hands, move your legs, stroke your penis. I stroked it. X-ray him, they said. I got myself X-rayed. Standing, sitting, sleeping, spit here, pee here, shit here, deposit your semen here, did all this. Vomit blood, I vomited it. All the interns shouted in unison, now say amen. I said amen. Touch the child and say amen. I said amen, amen, amen. Everything is normal, said the doctor, and placed another bill in my hand. I drew a blank but felt good. What about my wife? What about my baby? I asked. The condition is curable, the doctor said. Psychogenetic, neuromuscular, psychosomatic. For 3 days and 3 nights, my wife continued to sleep, probably suckled the baby in between dreams. The baby looked fine. My wife woke up with the fright and asked me with desperation, how do I face the world? I had never had sex with anyone else. It's okay, okay, I patted her. So here the third thing finishes. Of course, the curiosity will be there. So please buy the book and read. Now, just to give you flavor. The flavor is very interesting thing because, I must tell you one small personal story. It's personal, so as personal as this thing one. One of my first college loves, I had a Kannadi girlfriend. So she taught me only one sentence, or rather I picked it up. Na Ninu Ballari. So that is the flavor. So similarly, from Marathi Na Ninu Ballari flavor I'm going to give you. From my latest poem, a small reading, I'm not going to take more time. This poem is titled as Chandra Chewing Gum. I'm going to read exactly for 30 seconds because again, this is a very long poem. Recently, my friend Heyman published it in our Abhidanantar thing, and it's getting quite interesting remarks and responses all over. Chandra Chewing Gum. त्या विटान पाटले खडक असतील भिजून गेले झिजून जागोजाग त्यांच्या उघड्या फटीतून गोगलगाईची एक एक चंद्रकोर गेली असेल गळून असेल तिने गिळला अख्खा चुकार चकोर किंवा गेला बाजार चतकोर या न थांबणाऱ्या पावसात नाचून दमून गेलेला मोर किंवा शेंदव जमून दमट झालेल्या गाण्याचा तलम पडदा आणि बेडकाचा जबडा खर्जातून उघडा अगं तुला दिसला तो फक्त त्याचा सांगाडा रबरी वितळलेल्या कंडोमाचा उरलेला सांडग्याचा पापुद्रा म्युझियमच्या मखमलीत इथरच्या द्रावणात प्रागैतिहासिक वासाचा चिपचिपीत चोथा त्याच्याच डोळ्याच्या खोबणीतून येणाऱ्या डिझेलच्या वासासारखा मातीचाच पण खवट खनिजी मंद्र सर्वत्र सुशिर स्वयंभू चंद्र चुईंगम मंद्र सर्वत्र सुशिर स्वयंभू चंद्र चुईंगम. Thank you very much.